What up, Mirthlings? This is Mirthy, and this is my channel where we talk about music and voice acting related topics. Today, though, we're going to be talking about something that's super important for your career in voice acting or voiceover. That is, how much should you charge for your voice acting? A lot of people don't know, especially starting out, if they can even charge. They don't know if they're good enough yet, or if they should just be doing free projects. So this is what we're going to go through, and we're going to go through a couple scenarios and things that you can do. But without further ado, this is Mirthy Monday. Alright guys, so first thing we're going to talk about, this is the industry standards. I'm going to put this link in the description below so you can check that out. And this is kind of just what the recommendations are. By all means, you don't have to follow these at all, because let's just say you're starting out but you just happen to be a natural and very hireable. So you know, you might be better than these and you might be able to charge a little bit more. Or let's say you're just starting out and you have a huge speech impediment, or you're learning the language, or there could be a couple scenarios, or maybe you're just horrible at acting for right now, so you got to work on that some. You're not going to be able to charge the base standards even. You're going to have to do some work and grow yourself before you get hired anywhere for anything other than a free project. But we're not going to even look at those. This is what we're going to do. If you're a beginner in voice acting, you need to find similar people at your level. You know, listen to other people's projects that they put out. You know, network with people on Twitter, on Discord, in your voice acting courses and classes, anyone that you've ever worked with in a project, if you've been in any yet. Find people who are similar to you in skill and audio recording ability and things like that. Ask them their rates. Find out what they're charging for different things in terms of what are they charging for doing anime voice acting? What are they charging for advertisements, narration, audiobooks and audio dramas? What are they charging for video game work, radio work, or any type of ad space on there? Find out what everyone's charging that's kind of matching your personal ability. Then just take kind of like an average of what all of them are charging and just pick that and go with it. I mean, you just got to start somewhere. All you can do is start telling people your rates. You know, make a little write-up to give out to people when they're auditioning. When they're hiring, a lot of things will, if they're professional, they'll put out the casting call, and then when they decide that they like you, they will ask you what your rates are. Mostly it's the amateur projects that kind of tell you beforehand, hey, this character is getting paid $5 per episode or per amount of words and things like that. But you, as a voice actor, can make your own rates and then decide from there if you want to work with the project. You know, if it's in their budget or not, you can decide if you want to go forward or just take a break and find a new project to work with you. You have to first believe in yourself, believe in your ability, and believe that you can make money off of doing something that you love. And you have to love it. I mean, it's the same with any kind of passion. You're probably not going to make money with something that you love to do right off the bat, unless you're just one of those people who loves like programming or something that's like a high ticket industry right now. But if you're doing something in the arts, most likely you're going to have to be broke for a little while and supplement your income with a day job. So you need to be able to be broke in terms of your voice acting career for a little while. And when you love something, you'll stick with it even with that scenario. But you got to be happy with the small wins. My first project was $25. The next one after that was $50. And even though they were really spread out and they were just a small little check here and there, you kind of start seeing that the fact that people will pay you for the work you're putting out, even if it's, in your own ears, not up to par. And that's the whole point. You get paid what you're worth, and the better you get, the more you're going to be able to charge. Let's say you're starting out below, you're getting let's just say a project a week, and you're charging the base rate, the smallest rate, $5 per project. And then over time, you'll get better at voice acting, and you're going to get more and more projects, to the point of you're getting maybe 10 projects per week, and that's starting to be a heavy workload for you, and you're only making $5 per project. Eventually you're going to cap out on working hours, and you're going to be like, wow, I'm getting cast in a lot of projects, and that'll make you feel good at first. You're going to be like, wow, people actually like how I am, how I sound, and my acting. But at a certain point, you're going to be like, I'm working a lot for not really making enough money. And that is the moment when you either hit that, or you realize you're working a ton of projects that you don't even like. It's just because they're paid projects. And that is the moment when you got to do something that's kind of scary. And that is double your rates. You're going to double your rates. And half of those customers, if they're return customers, because sometimes you get a good rapport going with the indie game maker or something like that, and they call you back. But when you double your rates, you're going to lose half your customers, but the other half is now paying double. So you're essentially, your income didn't change, you just lowered your workload. And that is the huge benefit of getting better, to the point of you're pulling in a lot more customers. You lose half your customers, but you got the same pay. So now, you have more time to get better projects that pay more. And as you increase how many customers you have, how many clients you have, you'll do the same thing. When you max out on hours, or you're doing any projects that you don't like, you can now say, hey, sorry, I don't have time to dedicate to this project unless it's going to pay this much. And just be upfront about that with the people. And they say, all right, I'm sorry, man. Hopefully we can work together in the future. And that's all it is. You just be a human being and tell them what's up. You gotta max out your hours again, and then you're gonna double it again, and you're just gonna keep doing that until you're getting into these top tier projects on the online, or you can go to studios too, but everyone's gonna be paying the same thing. It's just whatever you charge, or like I said, the amateur projects that tell you in advance how much they're paying out for their voice actors. Would you rather work 100 projects for $1 a piece, or one project for $100? That's essentially what we're looking at here. Eventually you're going to get to that point where each project you work pays you $100 or more, and then it's just going to keep going from there. Companies like Fortune 500 companies need mass amounts of customers, and they just need to collect more and more customers, because that's how they make their income, and they can scale it like that. But you, as a single artist who does all the creative work themselves, needs to find a way to charge more and work less if you want to make a steady income off of it. So that's all it is. You're just, it's the business of voiceover that you're learning, and eventually you'll start just working on projects that you enjoy. So like for me, I like doing audiobooks. I like doing anime voiceover. I'd like to get to do some video game voiceover. But the character work is where it's really fun for me. But yes, of course, I'll do ad places and placements and narration and radio spots and things like that. But those, sometimes they even pay more. But the whole goal is to do something that you love and be able to get paid for it. So eventually, that's the goal there. Okay, now let's walk through some rate examples, so that way you can see what's like a ridiculous number and what's like a sort of normal number when you're first starting out. Now, what I like to do was, first things first, if I got hired, I let them know up front, hey, there's a $20 flat rate booking fee, and that's just in the event of them canceling their project or it not following through and actually finishing the project, which happens a lot, that was kind of like an insurance for me that they pay that up front, regardless of any work being put out, and it's non-refundable. The other money that I would charge them, they could get back if I delivered like a horrible audio sample or whatever it was. So $20 flat rate and booking fee. I don't know if every voice actor does this, but that's what I saw some people doing, so I started to do it. The next thing would be I was charging $5 per line for advertisement work, and across all the boards, whether it's radio or just like anything like that. But a line could be, you could stipulate how many words per line, but really it was just each sentence, whether that was like a 1-word sentence or a 10-word sentence. The next thing I put on my rates were $2 per line for character and narration work. On average, you're gonna see that advertisement work pays a lot more. Not always per line. Sometimes it's like per project. It's just like a flat payout. But character and narration work is more fun in my opinion, so I'll take the $2 per line when I first started. The next thing I would do is, now effort sounds, which are like the noises from fighting and getting punched and things like that. A lot of people consider each effort sound one line, and that is definitely going to be pretty lucrative. I also would, if I really liked the guy and I wanted to give him like a discount, I would do $2 per 5 effort sounds. Like right at the end of all the recording, if they just wanted some extra that they want to throw in here and there into their project, then I would record a couple lines for them to have extra. There's things for like audiobook. You get charged, or you charge them, my bad, for per completed hour. Now this is the one thing where you don't charge them per line, and it's not even per hour of work that you do, but it's per completed hour of like edited audio. So once you edit it down and chop it down to just what you're going to turn into them, each hour of that audio you would charge, I was charging $150. So audiobook is a good place, and there's a couple websites online where you can do audiobook work. Obviously Amazon has Audible and all that kind of stuff. And those were the basic starter, rates that I started out with. The last thing I want to talk about is when you should charge them. So I think the safest way is really to say, hey, I'm glad we're going to be working together. The way I usually do it is I get half of the fee up front, then I record all my audio, right? Or you can record like the first paragraph or the first couple lines and send that to them, and they'll kind of grade it and see like, hey, is this going to work? Is this good quality? Which they already kind of checked you with the audition, but this is just to make sure. So once they're like, yep, this is good, then you can send them the rest of the audio files or however they want it recorded, and then they would send you the other half of your payment after that. So that way it's kind of like like a drug deal when it goes hand to hand, back and forth, like really quickly, same time. It's a little bit safer for both parties involved, because there's a lot of people who will charge you, or let's say they commission you to do some work and then you turn it into them, expecting them to pay after, and then they just take it and they're like, well, I don't really like it, I think I'm gonna go with a different voice actor. And really, they did use your stuff, and they just got away with not paying you. And on the other hand, they're not going to pay you the entire amount right off the bat, because they don't know you. You're like some guy on the internet with a microphone who might just disappear and never send their lines in. So giving half is kind of like a good faith payment, and then you can deliver your lines because you know he's got the money, and he trusts you because he's like, well, he's not going to leave without getting the other half of his money. You know, that's what he hopes. So it kind of like keeps you both honest. I've seen people do it other ways. You know, a lot of people get paid after the project's done. Personally, I don't really like to do that. You know, it's super safe if you get at least some of the money. Then you know that there's a likely chance that he's got the full amount of money to pay you. Alright guys, if you like this, definitely be sure to subscribe and ring the bell and like the video and do all that stuff. And if you want to support more and get more exclusive content, be sure to check out my Patreon. That's in the description below. And while you're down there, check out at the bottom, there's some links that I've put up that are kind of like my recommendations for beginner gear that'll at least start you off on your voice acting career. You don't need to spend a lot of money on that stuff. Really, it's about a basic condenser mic and treating the room that you're going to record in. That's what's going to get you a good bang for your buck, at least for the first 3 years while you're learning and working on your craft. I will see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for coming out.